All right, my darlings. How are you doing today? Okay, put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Just want to make sure that you all can hear me. And there's always a major delay with StreamYard, and it's so weird. It's so weird. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Starry Eyed. Thank you, Sleepy Bee. Okay, so today we're doing something a little bit different, yet something a little bit similar. And I thought that it would be a good idea to potentially review astrological aspects as they occur in real time, but as it pertains to a person, a human, right? And, I think it was last week or a few days ago, those of you who may have been watching either Taz's stream or Nyla's stream, there was conversation as it pertains to a certain content creator, Jay Prince for president. And I thought it was fascinating to actually see the conversation, but me, I'm curious. I'm curious. I like to figure out how things work and, try to figure out why some people do what they do. So I spoke with Flora, who, for those of you who may or may not know, was Jay Prince for President's wife. And she agreed to help me understand what I was looking at via his natal chart, as she is someone who had a personal relationship with him. Flora is here with me today, and I'm going to bring up his chart because we're going to go through it and see. Now, I will say that um, I do not have his birth time. So the chart that we're going to look at does not have any houses. I do not know his rising sign, and his moon sign may be off. Um, he has either a Scorpio moon or a Sagittarius moon, but all the other placements are pretty much correct. So, with that being said, I'm going to bring the chart in and I'm going to bring Flora in and we are going to get into this. So, before we go any further, please do me a favor, like the video, and moderators, if someone comes to the chat acting weird, okay, time them out or block them. It's your preference. You all know I don't have time for that. So let me get right to it. But first, let me say hello to some of you and let me bring Flora in. Okay, let me ask Flora. Let me ask if she's good to come on stage now. Okay, because I had lunch and I had my beverage. So, everyone grab your beverages, your snacks, because we're going to get into this. So, and this is not to quote unquote tear anyone down. I truly, there's always, with a lot of astrology, a lot of it is hindsight, right? We're looking at things, we're examining things from the lens of looking in the past. But I kind of wanted to look at, and just see if we can kind of talk about and maybe explain some things that we see as it pertains to Jay Prince's behavior, especially in these YouTube streets. So without further ado, let me add in Flora. Hey Flora girl, you can unmute yourself whenever you're ready.
Hey, hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I'm thankful for you to work with me on this, but also I know it's been a lot for you with this saga being drawn out on YouTube, and it's not my purpose to continuously draw it out, but I did want firsthand commentary from someone that was in an interpersonal relationship with him to see if I am hitting the marks astrologically as it pertains to his behavior. So, again, thank you so much for taking the time out to sit with me here with
Absolutely.
this. With
I'm
this. All right.
excited.
Yeah, is there anything that you want to say before we get started looking at this?
Um, I just want like mostly I'm just interested as well to know some of this information too because you have to some of what you said already lets me know you're on the right track in terms of like potential to be better to harness like energy for good. But I just think there's a lot going on beneath the surface that I would like to explore as well. Just for informational purpose because you deal with somebody like him, it does make you want
Yeah.
to know and question a lot of things. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear your input on it as well.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And can I tell them Flo what tomorrow is? Can I tell them?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
So Flora's birthday is tomorrow. So give her a shout out. Her birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday, Flora. I hope that you have a beautiful birthday tomorrow and that you get everything that you desire. Okay, amen. Amen.
Thank
Um,
you.
so make sure you all tell Flora happy birthday. Tell her happy birthday. Okay, so let me bring this chart in. Let me bring the chart in. And this information was given to me by Flora. Everyone can see the chat. Okay, you can see the chat. Um, okay. So let me see. Oh Lord, my computer already heating up, but that's okay. So like I said, you all, we don't have any houses. So I know this chart looks different from other people's charts that I pull up. It's because we don't have any houses. I did not want people to think that I was um going through the energies based on houses. There are no houses because we do not have a birth time for him. But we can pretty much see that there are some strong energies going on as it pertains to this chart. Okay. So yeah, we see a lot. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here.
Did you
And
see? I'm sorry to bump in. Did you see my message in the back real quickly? I
mm,
just realized I might have given you a typo when I wrote it in.
okay, let me check. Let me check in the back. Let me check in the back. Private chat. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That's fine. Okay, that works. That works. That's fine. That's fine. So I can do this in real time. Um, I can do this in real time. Okay. Okay. So yeah, there's still a lot. There's still a lot going on here. There is still a lot going on here. It's fine, girl. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. There's a lot going on here. Okay. Okay. Um, listen. Listen. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think for me, the first thing that I'm looking at is let me not do that. I don't want to breathe hard. I'm not gonna breathe hard. I'm not gonna breathe hard. I'm not gonna breathe hard. But there and let me just say, a lot of people have everyone has energies in their chart that either you learn to grow as a person over time, you learn to change into who you need to be, what you need to be, you learn to better yourself over time. Um that's for all of us. Okay? That's for all of us. So, like I said again, this isn't like any type of harping, but yeah. Yeah. So let me just say that. Let me just say that. So the first thing that I kind of want to look at is this, and I hate to say it. Let's look here at the bottom of the chart. Let me make sure that you all can see what I'm looking at. Okay, let's look here. So this is for the planet Pluto. Now, I don't want to bore you all with too many terms. Traditionally in astrology, Pluto wasn't even discovered back then. So Pluto is more of a modern um planet that astrologers, analyze the energies and what's going on and whatnot. He has Pluto in Scorpio. So he's part of the Pluto and Scorpio generation. I am part of the Pluto and Scorpio generation, right? Because it's Pluto is a planet that takes so long to get through all the zodiac signs. Pluto is usually in a sign for years. Um years, okay, like over 10. So Pluto is here. Now, this little RX here that means retrograde. Now we have retrograde energy, which is a planet appears to stop moving forward and then it's moving or appearing to move backwards in the sky. So Pluto being our planet, modern astrology of transformation, of death and rebirth, of power struggles, of secrets, of emotional depth, right? And especially like power. He has Pluto retrograde in Scorpio, right? And it's the opposite here of Lilith. Not added Lilith in. Lilith is a hypothetical um point as it pertains to the moon and earth. But I brought Lilith in only because Lilith is a lot of times astrologically thought of as a planet that talks about people's relationships. Um, the raw energy of Lilith. What can Lilith do? What is Lilith dealing with? And a lot of times how people think about women and seeing this opposition, okay, energies knocking heads. I think that especially with Lilith here in Taurus, right? Taurus is a sign that's ruled by Venus. So Lilith is here in this Venusian sign, right? I think here, right here, this is part of. I think he has. I don't want to say he hates women. I'm not going to say that. I
Oh,
think he has struggles. I think he has power struggles, and emotional struggles with women. For
hmm.
some reason, he feels there is a power dynamic between him and women or between him and womanhood. Um, yeah, it can be dangerous only because um Pluto is in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Okay. Mars and Scorpio, they go together. So Mars being our planet of fighting, our planet of danger, our planet of things that are physical. I mean, just think about soldiers. Soldiers are there to fight. They are there to tear stuff up, beat stuff up. Um, Without really thinking, they take order. So I'm seeing this as there's a potential that he has a problem with whatever it is that he thinks it is with women or womanhood. And I think we can kind of, I don't want to say see that, but as many times as I have heard him say the sisterhood is going to defend each other, that's a problem. That's a problem. So what are your thoughts on that?
Does that like would that present itself as like resentment towards womanhood or like kind
It
of
could. It
okay?
could because when we're talking about Scorpio, we're talking about a water sign that is deep in the trenches of it's highly emotional. Okay, this is a highly emotional sign, and all the water signs are very emotional, but Scorpio takes it a little bit further because of the energies that Scorpio gets from Mars, which
Mm,
is the combativeness. It is the fighting, the angry, the explosion. Mars can be very good for Ambition, drive, you have the energy to achieve your goals. But on the flip side, when people don't get their way, this is where that combative energy comes in. So, does that answer your question? Do you want to
Yeah.
elaborate on that?
I mean, I think when you say that, like, there's this like balance imbalance or feeling like a power struggle with feminine, I mean, that was what every day felt like, like
Okay.
a man trying to tell you and explain to you what womanhood is, or what they believe, how they believe it's supposed to be expressed. That was something that he did a lot after he got like settled. We were still getting to know each other. He would like kind of act like the reason why he wanted me is because I brought feminine balance.
Okay.
So
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now, um, I'm not here to get into your personal business, but I have to ask. Um, I'm trying to think of a way to ask this delicately without being a creep. Um, would you say that he is a person who was very sexual or very touchy-feely or very rough or things like that as it pertains to intimate relations? How would you describe physical intimacy?
it was rough, and like at first there was like this like trying to be sensual. Sorry, I'm like very thirsty right now, but at first there was like this like trying to have sensual energy, but then it turned into like a domineering, like,
Okay.
it wasn't like a balanced
Okay.
intimacy. It became like about control.
Okay. Okay. Well, and thank you for sharing that. Again, I'm not trying to be like, I'm asking the questions because I'm seeing things here. So one of the things the reason why I asked you that is because I'm looking here. And let me see if okay. I am looking I have to bring the chart back up. I'm looking here. Venus, personal planet, is in the sign of Aries. So Venus in Aries, you're going to have that sexual energy that is very, how would I describe it? It's touchy, it's feely, but it's also it claims. It says this is mine. It's not necessarily a caveman, but it can be very
So
domineering. I say that because I'm a person. I have a my Venus is in Aries as well, and one of the things and it's not TMI, but I bite. I bite. So, I understand that like my husband is sometimes like, "Will you get off me?"
yeah.
No, I can't leave you alone. So, speaking of someone with that, and I am very, I don't want to say possessive, but baby, that's mine right there. Okay, that's mine. Um, and I don't play any games about it. Right. So the reason, like I said, why I asked that, and it can manifest in various different ways, but Mars is, Venus being in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is, if you look at Mars, this is the phallus. It is the phallus. Okay, so it can be very rough. It can be very just caveman-ish. So, which is why I asked you that question. So you said try to be sensual in the beginning, but then it was just like whatever.
Controlling
Yeah.
and domineering and like telling me what I'm supposed to enjoy versus like,
Mm.
like just weird energy. And I'm a Leo, so I'm sure
Mhm.
that was not compatible for me.
Right. 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 Let me ask you another question. Would you say that there were conversations about when to be intimate, just like randomly, just randomly being intimate, or like you want to do this right now, like really, like what would you say to that? Would it be like after, you get in bed at night, you may want to, have some fun, or would it be more random, like you're in the middle of something and just like, okay, but we're doing something right now, what do you mean you want to
Yeah, it
be
was
physical?
more like that.
It was more like that. Okay.
That
Okay.
was something I didn't enjoy. I thought it was weird. I'm sorry. I didn't enjoy that at all. I know
Okay.
some people might be like, "Oh, this is so great. It's spontaneous," but it almost never went along with how I was feeling. So,
Okay. Okay. Now, how did I know that? Where did I get that from? Okay, let's take a look. So, we have our good buddy old pal here, Uranus. Uranus is the planet of instability and spontaneity and just doing something out of the blue. Things that are sudden, things that are not planned. And Uranus here is in, we can follow this blue line up, and it's in an exact trine. The blue line is a trine. It's in an exact trine with Venus. Okay. So you have the planet of unpredictability, instability, things that are sudden, in a good ease, flow, energetic path with the planet of love, romance, sitting in a hot sign that likes sexy, sexy. So that's why I asked that. That's why I asked that, because I'm just like, okay, okay. And what makes it, I don't want to say a little bit worse, but Uranus is here in Sagittarius, okay? Sagittarius, y'all know that's towards the end of the year. That's November going into December. But Sagittarius is also a hot sign. You can tell what the signs are element wise by looking at their color. So the blue ones are water, red ones are fire, green ones are earth, and the yellows over here are air signs. So elementally, he has unpredictability, instability as it pertains to romantic interactions that are ruled by
salad. Is that what
yeah,
that?
that's ruled by, the sign that literally thinks with their penis. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's very interesting. Now, the thing about that is, now Venus isn't just love and romance. Venus is also beauty, things that you value, your possessions. Now, I kind of feel like with this here, I feel like he wants so much out of life. He has yet to figure out how to do it. Um, I feel like Jay Prince wants to um he wants to have it all. And I feel like he is a person. And listen, I'm gonna say we need resources, we need material things to exist on this planet as things are right now. I'm not saying that material things are bad. It just is what it is. But I kind of feel like he wants to, he has, I don't want to say an obsession, but he is very materially focused. Um,
yeah,
thing about that is he doesn't know how to, he hasn't figured out how to get the things that he wants. And he I kind of feel like he flits from idea to idea, from this thing to that, this thing to the next person, instead of truly focusing on one goal at a time. Um, so um what do you think about that? Give us your thoughts on that.
yeah. Like, and you think, with the food cart business, like you can see that, like you can see that pretty clearly that that's what's going on with him. I'd say that just from what I've experienced with the business, and I'm not going to go too much into
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you don't have to.
You know what I mean? But just from what I've experienced with it, even the energy that he puts into it is unstable. Even he's not consistent. Like there's so many parts of it where like I think that would kind of explain the fact that the business has been something he's been working on for 10 years or whatever, Dr. Umar time, and it still has
You know what? Not Dr. Umar time.
being a little messy, but just it hasn't materialized. And I think for what he's trying to do, there's no reason other than lack of skill building and focusing in on it. I don't know if like the food truck was ever something that he really wanted to do to the point where he would like work blood, sweat, and tears. He will work, don't get me wrong. But it's like the energy that he puts into it the way he needs to is not consistent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, definitely thank you for sharing that insight with us. Yeah, and the reason that I asked, again, I am definitely just going based off what I see. The reason I asked is because we have our good buddy Opal here. Now we just talked about Uranus. So we have Uranus here, instability, sudden movements, um, things that are not planned. And Uranus, it's here retrogradation can sometimes, not all the time, sometimes be some of the worst things that can happen to a planet because all of the good things that a planet can offer you can also, flip and be negative when it comes to retrograde, which is potentially looking like it's moving backwards instead of forward. So, good surprises, good things. Yeah, this is in direct. Let me move this over. This is in direct opposition. Look at this. 16 degrees here, 16 degrees here. His mind races so much. Um, I'm surprised it doesn't drive him cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because we have Mars here. Mars, your action, your drive, your ambition, your courage, the energy that you need, the stamina that you need to get things done here in Gemini. So Gemini is our sign of when we're thinking, our thoughts, our ideas, on a mental level. Mars is in. I'm surprised he's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He is though. I don't even want to say it like that 'cause it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm just like he has so many ideas
yeah.
that but instead of this being the electrical energetic push here to help get this off, there are oppositions. And the thing about it is, again, Sagittarius, the sign of Sagittarius, the archer. If you think about the archer pulling the arrow with the bow and arrow that's going to launch forward, Sagittarius wants to launch things forward, but you got Uranus here that's moving backwards.
Mm,
So he's trying to get things off the ground. It's not working out.
yeah.
It's not working out for him.
Yep.
Um,
And I witnessed that in real time. Like wanting to put in the good put good forth the good effort. It's hard to even believe that he's ever putting good effort from what he puts online, right? Like it's easy to think he's just a complete degenerate, but in practice he did try. It was like that inner voice and that like extra ruminating and like focusing on people who actually literally don't like him and like just kind of ruminating on those messages. I don't know. It was just something about how he operated naturally, where it was like a lot of focus on the negative exterior, the worst parts of a person, of himself, of his history. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. It
Yeah,
was definitely
no. And it's, like I said, and this is why we're having this conversation, right? And he has his midheaven is in Taurus. So midheaven is often thought of as the like if you think about during the summer, we know that the sun is at its highest point in the sky. So the midheaven is often thought of as your highest point where you're supposed to achieve things like that. His midheaven here is in Taurus. He has energetically, and energetically he has this contrast, this push and pull between his emotions and what's going on in the physical realm. How can he translate these things, everything that he's feeling, everything that he wants, everything he desires, and make it manifest here on earth, right? So his midheaven here in Taurus, baby, we love some Taurus action, some Taurus energy, because he is actually supposed to be more stable than what he is. His sun is here in Taurus at 29 degrees. Now, this is a critical point, because every the astrology degree ranges are going to be from 0 to 29. You have 30 degrees. So when you're at the end point, okay, this is critical. This is, you are supposed to have learned all of the lessons that you needed to learn going from 0 until you get to 29. So his sun, his energy, where he wants to be, what he thinks of himself is that he is this stable person that's here. He's supposed to be stable. He's supposed to have a good solid foundation. He is supposed to be at the point to where he has quote unquote mastered the lower levels of things and knows what it's like to be and to actually be a functioning, at least stable adult. From what we have seen through his own YouTube live streams, that is not the case. And it's not when we're talking about his YouTube live streams, that doesn't even have anything to do with you, Flora. We can see through what he presents of himself that there are some lessons that he still needs to master as it pertains to providing for himself, being stable, um, and acquiring, attaining, and keeping the resources that he needs to be a functional human in society. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah. And the thing again is like, it's not that he's not capable. He can very well go out there and do it. The problem is when you have that push and pull in your mind, and like I also wanted to know what your thoughts are in terms of like how trauma would play into how some of these different aspects of him or his chart, kind of how that activates with trauma, because he talks a lot about trauma online, and
Hmm.
he genuinely spent a lot of time outside of online talking about trauma as well. So I wonder, like, if you can have that push and pull while you're also like kind of have a distorted view, if that would make someone like him, like himself, who kind of comes online and shows himself in whatever way, whether it's unstable or stable. um, there's just a lot going on within him, and I think like he does genuinely have decent things that he wants to do. But in terms of exercising that and actually doing it, there's a disconnect, and it's not a lack of ability. It's like almost like not wanting to. I don't know.
Yeah. So, um, and I'm not going to say that everyone has trauma, but some of us have experienced things in childhood that other people have not. How we deal with that is ultimately up to us, because listen, this is just a snapshot of the time, or somewhat of the time, um of when he was born, right? What were these planets doing? What were they saying? How were they communicating with each other? Which does imprint on a person. Listen, I don't know if Starry Eyed is in the chat, but Starry Eyed always says, change is constant, growth is optional. We have to choose to want to do better. Like, I'm not even blaming anything on, these planets or whatever. We all have a choice. We can choose to do better, and that's really up to him. But I think like for him, I don't know, we don't have his time of birth, so I don't know what house this is, but this Saturn in Scorpio, um, for a lot of people, um, depending on where this is, and I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that he may have experienced some type of childhood where things were not as what they should have been when it comes to, parents raising children. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he either saw some things or experienced some things during his childhood that have stuck with him and imprinted on him. This Saturn is going to be our responsibility, stability. What does your foundation look like? Um, Building things from the ground up. It's in Scorpio. So here we go again. Scorpio with its ties to Mars. I am willing to bet that his childhood growing up, he may have seen some things or experienced some things that children should not have to. And when things like that often imprint on children, sometimes it's hard to get past that and move on. So you were talking about trauma. I think this answer is here. I think the answer is here. Again, we don't have his time of birth, so I can't tell you what house it's in, but I am willing to bet it's in his one of his houses of childhood or foundation. I'm willing to bet that based on what I've seen. Um Yeah, I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet on that because some of the things that he says is I feel like it's a trauma response.
Yeah, the show.
And I am not a licensed therapist. I'm not a licensed counselor. I'm not a licensed mental health professional. So I'm not speaking in a professional capacity, but I do know energy and I know people. And you can't tell me that some of the things he says isn't indicative of that.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
And I mean, this is YouTube. He one thing I'll tell you that he does say, he used to say is like, oh, like having people talk about you, whether it's good or bad, is a good thing, right? That's how you get. That's how I heard you suck your teeth. Well, that's how you get attention. That's how you get growth. And I always told him like, why would you want negative attention though? Like, but it was something that he would say frequently, like, just because people, are talking bad about you, don't be necessarily upset. At least they're talking about you, right? Versus you not being really important. So I know sometimes the things that he says, he's just trying to be outlandish and get people to stay and listen to his stupid bullshit. Excuse my French.
oh no, you good. No, we cuss over here, girl. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like Scar Beauty saying in the chat, he did tell Taz, and he says it a lot of times, and he would say it to me. He likes attention, like he likes being seen. He likes people, coming to hear him or thinking he actually thinks he's a celebrity in some degree.
Interesting. Interesting. That is interesting. So, yeah, the celebrity, yeah, that is interesting. I mean, listen, with the way that social media is right now, there are a lot of people who receive attention and quote unquote status. Unfortunately, social media is the currency right now. And for people who need that, they're going to do whatever that they can to continue to get their high, so to speak. Um, yeah, I kind of feel like part of that is here. So this is not quote unquote a planet. This is Chiron. This is an asteroid. And Chiron is usually when we're talking about personal wounds that potentially need to heal. Um, and it's different for everyone, but this Chiron in Gemini, I kind of feel like Gemini is gonna be our sign that is aligned with attention, aligned with, speaking, communications, trying to get their point across, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is our planet of the mind, thoughts, communication, speaking, things like that. So I wonder what type of household he grew up in, because I feel like he may have been someone who was told to be quiet, or he wasn't allowed to speak, or wasn't allowed to express himself as a child. And now that he is an adult and can do whatever he wants, he has this platform where he just empties his brain out on.
See, that would be like, you could definitely see that, especially because his mother passed away when he was young. So he ended up having to live with like family members and like maybe felt like an outsider. But
You
one
said
thing,
that his mother passed away when he was young. Was it because there is a degree theory that a lot of astrologers, well, some astrologers play with sometimes,
Mhm.
and it's that the degree of the Chiron sign is the degree in which something traumatic happened to the person in life. So would you this is at 8 degrees. So this would be 8 years old before teenage years. So that if his mother passed away when he was young, I can see that the degree theory will potentially match up depending on how old he was
Yeah,
when.
I believe he was around 10, like 8, 9, 10. I forget how
Okay,
old. He
okay.
was young in that age frame. And
Mhm.
he talks about, and again, I'm not going to give this guy the ability to use childhood and things like that as
Yeah.
an excuse, but he did talk about how old that, like family that he stayed with kind of like made him seem like they didn't want him there. He did have a lot of behavioral issues, and
Mhm.
there was like things that he did when he was younger and stuff like that that were bad. Like he was always getting into trouble and stuff.
Mhm.
But there was like sort of like, oh, we have to take this kid in. Like we don't want him here type situation.
Yeah.
Like that's how he described his environment.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that definitely makes sense. Like I said, some astrologers use this degree theory, some don't. But yeah, so that would definitely make sense. Um a wound coming in early for him. And I can definitely see the potential for behavioral issues because again, Mars is our actions. This is the physical things that you do in quote unquote a busybody sign like Gemini, which is airy. Air just when you add heat to air, it moves around, right? So I could definitely see that here. Yeah, I'm sorry that he lost his his mother. Again, we each have to work through things that we are dealing with and potentially get whatever help that we need. But yeah, that would definitely make sense, especially here. It's so funny that you say that because the moon is at 8 degrees here and we don't have his birth time, but the moon isn't going to change signs. So this moon sign is either at 8 degrees, probably no more than 15 degrees for the day, depending on what time he was born. So yeah, moon is often representative of mother. So a loss of mother here, that actually would definitely definitely pan out. Yeah, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. I will say that from what I have seen of him online and the different things that he says, I would say that some of his philosophical thoughts about things are a little skewed, are a
Yeah.
little off. This is my opinion, but a little skewed, a little off, and they don't really land the way that they need to. So this is the planet Neptune. Neptune is retrograde, so moving backwards. So this is the planet of illusion. This is the planet of deception. This is the planet of we need to figure things out. This is the planet of magic. This is the planet of ideals, philosophy, dreams, things that you dream of, things like that. He was born with Neptune retrograde in Capricorn. So I kind of feel like this is again lending to um ideas or that may not be good ideas as it pertains to creating stability. Capricorn is our sign of stability. It's an earth sign. It's ruled by Saturn. So again, we're talking about a stable foundation, a stable home life. Where do you live? Not having to move all these different times or whatever. I kind of feel like again, like he has some, yeah, I don't want to say philosophical, but some of his ideas, some of the things that he says, I'm not sure how much of it. I mean, it's rooted in reality for him. That's his reality. But I know sometimes we kind of look and say, like, sir, what are you saying? You want to touch on that?
Sorry. Yeah, he does have a lot of delusional beliefs. Also, as it relates to just like race and things like that. Um, Now, one thing he was really fixated on, that again, this is not like me trying to open up the inner secrets of his heart,
Mhm.
but one of the things he would fixate on sometimes was like talking about Egypt and like the connection that Black people have to that, and
Right.
like the pharaohs and things. He does have a lot of mysterious beliefs that kind of, I don't think they really influence any way that he lives his life, but I do think that they're like just sort of other ruminating thoughts that he kind of has in his brain.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sorry. I was trying not to laugh because I am so tired of these hotep ass. We going to Egypt and we was kings and we done built the pyramids and
He,
all this other shit. I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired. I'm
yeah.
tired. So let me just. I mean, he might as well just go get him a Hebrew Israelite shirt and just go stand on the corner because I'm sorry.
He should sell hot dogs and bean pies. No, I
Right. I mean, like serious, sir. Where is your kufi? Where is your kufi?
don't.
Since you gonna do all of this, like, sir, like, how is that helping you? Right? Like, okay, cool, but how does that help you? And this is what I'm saying. Like, um, we can see the things that from his own live streams. We can see the things that are in his mind, but how does that help you to establish a stable home life or a stable foundation? Like that's cool and all, but
Yeah. And like a lot of his ideologies and behaviors would be fine if he was only dependent, like the only person depending on him was him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, yeah, go ahead, have these crazy pipe dreams and thoughts and beliefs. But the troubling part is that he does have three people who really aren't getting much of a really anything structure, not like really anything, so
yeah. Let me just address this in the chat real quick. So Mystery Moon says, wait a minute. I have a hyperfixation of sorts with Egyptian mythology. I even named my daughter Cairo. Mystery Moon. My good sis. My good sis. You are not out here um unstable. You are not out here without a plan. You are not out here claiming that being in poverty is okay. You are not doing those things. You are not doing those things. And listen, I'm part of this generation with my Pluto as well. Okay, I like things beyond the gates too. I'm a whole spiritual worker out here. But baby, I need some good foundation. Okay. I need a place to live that is safe, that is wholesome. I'm not moving. I'm not getting evicted. I'm not worried about we can do things. We can do things. We can have hobbies or whatnot, but them hobbies and them fixations of his are not paying bills and they are not providing stability. So we have to stay grounded in reality. Okay.
That's one of the extreme delusional beliefs that he has, though, is that he doesn't have to work and things are going to be okay,
Yeah.
or he doesn't have to hustle and like have multiple jobs. Like he's going online and showing himself getting multiple jobs because he wasn't doing that before, right? And people saw how much time he was spending online. But in terms of like the ultimate delusional belief is that money is going to materialize. That you can get online and say something silly, and eventually you're going to become somebody who's making six figures on YouTube. Like, that's just not, that's a
Yeah.
part of his delusion for me as well,
Yeah.
is that someone else or some other entity is going to bring provision and money and wealth instead of him getting up and doing it, you know?
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yes. Yeah, so yeah, if we go back and look at our good buddy Opal here, and our good buddy Opal, let me bring the chart back up. Yeah, yeah. These ideas of that, uh-uh, uh-uh. Now see, he he wants sudden success, but baby Neptune right here, there's some delulu there. So channel members, go and throw your delulus up. Throw your delulus up. There's a bit of delulu there because it's not the ideas that he has, they're not part of his reality. Does that happen? Yes, there are plenty of people who go viral telling their stories online, but baby, it's not you. And that is okay. Everything isn't for everyone. It's not him. It's not him. And it's quite unfortunate because he has children and he has girls. And I am so thankful that my father, I had stability growing up, and my father was, listen, stay away from people like this, do this, don't do that. Yes, your spouse is supposed to help you, take care of you. I'm glad I had that because I had a standard that I saw. Those girls, from what it looks like, are not seeing what they need to see. And they don't, and I don't even like to say it. It does not appear that they have, or they're in an environment that they need to be in.
Yeah,
Um,
and he resents their girlhood too. Like he doesn't let them be girls, soft, free girls. Like I'm not saying that you're not supposed to
yeah,
discipline your daughters, but there's something really hard about their existence too. Like, a lot of times daddy's supposed to be the one who's spoiling the girls, right?
yeah,
Taking good care of them. They feel safe with dad. That's not necessarily what they're getting at all, and it's almost intentional. I think, like, to some degree, I feel like he doesn't want them, and this is not me like trying to pathologize his
yeah,
parenting or say anything like about him, about what his deep desires are, but I think there's a part of him who doesn't like the fact that girls have this like girlhood process, this softness,
yeah,
this
yeah,
this transition that they're supposed to go through to make them into a woman. Like, he doesn't like that process. He feels there's some the gendered part of him that you were mentioning against women, like
yeah,
some of that he gives towards his daughters. I do believe that if he had a male child, I don't think that some of like the energy that he has for his children would be there. I think he probably would have been a little bit softer, which doesn't make any sense, right? You have daughters
right.
who's
I
soft with
understand what
them.
you're saying.
Yeah, but like the gendered mind that he has, where like he believes that women are just given things, and that women just, they want to be treated like children, like the stupid stuff that he said. Those beliefs, those delusional beliefs, those actually guide some of how he like feels about his kid. Because you really have to think about why somebody who's able-bodied and can work would choose not to.
Yeah, yeah. And personally, I mean, I will say that, I'm a woman. I went through girlhood. There is going to come a time, and ladies, you all know what I'm talking about. There are going to come a time where they will need that womanly presence when things start changing within their bodies for them. They're going to need that. He doesn't it, can't no man tell you about that. I'm sorry. You need a woman for that.
He has
Um,
a 12-year-old too, so that's not far,
yeah,
but do
yeah,
I think he even has the right now, like, that he has the temperament or ability to like make that a safe space for her to be going through that transition from girlhood into teenage girlhood into like young adult into young lady. Like, I don't
yeah,
I don't know that he has the capability, because he does have a gendered perspective where he
yeah,
thinks it's unfair that women get to like be soft, or girls get to be soft, or whatever. It's something he's mentioned a lot as well on this
yeah.
channel.
And this is where, I've had the conversation with different people online, just stepping away from him for a moment. This is the conversation I've had online in which people need to understand that patriarchy hurts men as well. Um, it's not good for them because they've made so many things the way that it is, but then they don't want to do things that they made. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're gonna be X, Y, and Z, or they're, these crazy malehood standards that men set for each other, a lot of times being, not all the time, a lot of times being hypersexual, or, men, you got to make all this money or whatnot, or else you a lame or whatever. Y'all made that. We didn't make that. As women, y'all made that. So, patriarchy does it hurts men sometimes too. Like, they're not even some of them not even, bathing in the shower correctly or going to get the help that they need, because they are the ones who talk about each other saying that that's lame or that that's gay or whatever to do those things. Patriarchy don't help none of us. So that's on them to fix and dismantle, right? But yeah, no, I really do feel for those girls. I really do. Um I can't do anything about that. I mean, I could, but I won't. Um Unless you tell me they are in danger, Flora, then I'll do something. But if you
The,
I'll
the
stay
problem is the problem is what is danger, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
even CPS across the country
yeah,
is has
exactly,
changed things where they're like they want to prioritize reunification. They don't want to just take kids away.
right.
They want to make it work in the houses that they have, whatever that is, whether it's a stable home or not. They want to try to make it work and leave kids in there. So for me, it's more of like,
Yeah,
what's danger?
yeah, yeah. What do we do in times like that? Yeah. I will say that for him, if he wants to, if he wants to, one of the ways that he can begin to make things better for himself is he needs to figure out, and he needs to find new people to hang around with. A bunch of degenerates, and I'm just speaking loosely, hanging around with each other, it just creates more degeneracy. Um, yeah, he needs birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together, and the people that he hangs around with, he needs new people. He needs new people. Yeah, see, this is Jupiter, right? And Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is people, it's your social networks, it's your community, it's large groups of people. Jupiter is expansion, abundance. Now, Jupiter is not just money. Okay, Jupiter will give you more of something. Jupiter can give you 1,000 rocks. Okay. 1,000 rocks is abundance because 1,000 rocks is more than one rock. Jupiter just gives you more. Jupiter expands. Okay. If he finds or integrates himself with a group of people who are doing better, who are achieving goals, who represent and reflect what he truly, truly wants. He truly does want stability. Okay. He truly does want it. He needs to find new people. He needs to find new people. I'm not sure what his friends look like. I'm not sure what his network looks like, but he
He
needs.
doesn't really have friends. Like, in real life, I'm talking.
Yeah,
I don't believe in parasocial relationships, especially people that you're never gonna meet or anything like that. But in real life, he doesn't have much. A lot of the people that he does know are people that that he's connected to from his past, from having been in a position of like committing crimes. He mentioned, I don't know if you guys know, that he's been to jail, not like prison, but he's been to jail 35 some odd times, right? um,
really interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So throughout that time, he definitely alienated himself from probably the only people that were around him that were genuine people. I saw him when I was out there try to reconnect with some people, and you could just tell they weren't interested in letting him in. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted to keep him at a distance.
Right, right, right. I mean, yeah, I completely get that and understand that because, and every situation is different, but I will say that um I'm definitely one of those people when I see stories online like why is this person in and out of jail for, 15, 20 times? Like at what point I'm not saying that it fixes that, but what I'm saying is going to jail for different reasons. Okay, you driving without a license, your license suspended, you get pulled over, okay, you can go to jail. Okay, that's something. I don't know various reasons for 35 times in jail, but there is something going on there. Again, he needs to choose to heal. He needs to choose to get himself together. Um I know if my father were here, he would be like, "What? 35 times? You stay away from that person." So I can't even fault a person that decides they do not want to be in community with someone that has been in jail 35 times. I can't because now it's a question of what types of decisions are you making to where you find yourself in such situations 35 times. So I can't even be mad or be in opposition to someone who says they don't want to be in community with someone that has been in jail 35 times.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that he was going to jail for were really dumb. Like he tries to get, and this was something that Nyla addressed, um, but he tries to like talk about it like it's like a badge of honor, right? Like, oh, I've been in and out of pain or whatever, in and out of prison. To some people that's a way to say you're tough, but a lot of it was petty crimes. Disorderly conducts, um, trafficking drugs, and then later, not pleading out. Well, in some cases, pleading out, but a lot of the times not ending up with charges. So it wasn't like it was ever a serious crime like shooting someone or anything. A lot of it was like possessions without a license, possessions under a certain age. Like he wasn't a violent criminal per se, and I hate to say it that way because you would
Right,
think 5 times. Like he wasn't out here burglarizing and deleting people. That's something you can't get off your record. But
right.
he's been a menace for a long time.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree. Yeah, and like I said, I will not fault anyone that decides that they don't want to be in community with someone that has chosen to make poor decisions and ended up in jail 35 times. I won't even
Yeah.
I won't because it's a question of can you make good decisions? How old are you? What are you doing? Are you potentially a danger? I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, yeah. He really needs some community. He really needs some better community. If he had, and I'm looking at this, we have a triangle going on here. Okay, so we have a mini trying going on here. So, the way through it, he has passions, and Venus is more than just sex. It's passions, is what you want for your life as well, but
Yeah.
it's he can get things done. He just needs better community. Same thing here. If he needs better community, but he has to choose that for himself. He has to choose that for himself. And listen, I'm not saying he's a lost cause, because like I said, anyone can choose to change, but it has to be them to choose to change. Um, it has to be them. It has to be them. He has to learn to. Oh goodness, he has to learn how to let go. He wants this, so this is the north node, where you're going, or what you can do. This is what you're leaving behind, or what you should get rid of. He needs to learn how to take whatever pain that it is and help him transform, so that he can get this. He wants this. He wants this. He was literally born into it with his son there. My husband is a Taurus sun, right? Listen, we like nice things. It is what it is. But my husband did the things, he's about to go back to school for his master's degree. He has his certifications. He did X, Y, and Z. I mean, we're productive. All these different things. But you have to choose that. There is a difference between what he wants and what he's willing to do. But a lot of what's going on with him is what is his relationship with what is reality, and what's not.
I don't think he has a strong relationship with reality. And I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying that to be mean.
Yeah,
I say that because, like, it's just the way he lives, the way he operates. Like,
yeah,
it's almost like he wants to create his own reality. Like,
yeah,
it's almost like he wants you to ignore everything that is and just see it through whatever kind of messed up lens that he has. You know?
yeah. And let me say this: there are a bunch of people that have taken their ideas that were not based in reality and created things. Right? We have so many wonderful technological advancements in society. Okay, that have. I mean, look at the plane. Okay, we have airplanes. There was a time humans flying through the air was a figment of reality, of was a figment of imagination, and now humans get on planes every day and can be around the globe in 10-12 hours. So there are plenty of things that when people apply, drive and ambition and try to figure things out, can bring things that don't exist into reality, right? The airplane is one of those. But for him, it's different. It's different for him, and it's 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 exhausting. Like I am tired now, just from just having this conversation. I'm energetically tired now. Because again, I think he needs to yeah, his mind is on making money. This is his Mercury in Taurus. His mind is on making money. How can I get these things, these physical things? Okay. But it's just not.
It's
And he
almost
needs
too
to deal with
focused.
these. Go ahead.
Do you feel like it's almost too focused on like making quick cash versus like wealth?
Yeah, I would say that. I would absolutely say that, because here we are. We have Mercury here. Um, Mercury and the moon are two of our fastest moving planets. Mercury as well as the sun. The sun moves 1 degree a day, which is why we get a different zodiac sign every month. But Mercury moves fast too. Mercury is always within a sign, either in the same sign or the next sign over from the sun. always. So Mercury moves fast. Mercury is that moving fast, fast communication, um, fast, fast, fast. This is why Mercury retrograde is always tearing people's shit up, because it's like the spark of lightning. It moves as fast as like the internet does. So Mercury is fast, and Mercury isn't bad and Mercury isn't good, but Mercury will take on the energies of where Mercury is. So his mind is moving fast, thinking about money. It's moving fast, thinking about money. He dreams of things. Um, he dreams of it. So yeah, yeah, he dreams of it, and he really doesn't have too many. I don't want to say stable placements, but he has Mercury in Taurus, which is an Earth sign, so stability. He has the Sun in Taurus, Earth sign stability. But if this is his moon sign in air, you can't capture air. You can't capture air in your hand. And then you got this Mars. His actions are air, so gas, vapor, smoke. It's not tangible. Then you got his Pluto is in Scorpio, so this is water, right? Water isn't necessarily stable. Um, and then his Uranus is in this fiery Sagittarius, fire, so that's instability as well. The only other planet that he really has that could potentially be stable is Neptune, but it's in Capricorn, and this Neptune is gonna bring the delusion. It's gonna bring the delusion. So he has delusions of grandeur about how he can become stable. But yeah, this quick money here, yeah, he doesn't have too much. There isn't a lot of stability in this chart. There's a lot of restlessness in his chart. Um, and things that are intangible, right? It's yeah, but yeah, that quick money, absolutely, quick money right here with that Mercury. So you said he would have these. What other types of quick get rich schemes have you heard him talk about or speak about?
Hello?
Yeah, are you there?
I'm so sorry. I got a call for a
Oh,
second.
no, no, it's fine. No, I was asking you what types of quick rich schemes have you seen him talk about or
So
about?
I wouldn't say he was like into any rich schemes. I would say that like he plays on people's like believing that he will build a food empire one day. Um, he started out with the food cart, right? And then once he was making good money, instead of just keeping on with hustling with the food cart, he wanted to pawn it off on other people. And like I was mentioning in Nyla's stream the other day, that's why he can't. That's why his cart was like unable. It created this whole um, ordinance in the city, but that's also why he was unable to work his cart for a certain amount of time, right? Because once he got the money or saw the money that could be made in being in the food cart business, he moved on to this food truck situation, right? And so what he did is he acquired the truck and stopped there, right? He didn't do anything else to build up that food business. And then when people question it, like, hey, you talked about this food business like you were going to be so great at it and things like that. What did he do? Now he's going to pour the energy and the effort and make people think, hey, I'm trying to build this food truck up. Donate to this food truck. Like, donate so I can buy this piece. Donate so I can buy that piece. Donate so I can fix the floors. Donate so I can, you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily get rich quick schemes as much as it is trying to get people to support like a small business owner, right? Like that dream of somebody who wants to like
Right.
build something of their own. That's his biggest hustle. That's kind of why I alluded that he was similar to Umar Johnson, right? Because Umar Johnson is selling the idea of like, oh, I'm going to build a school for black kids. For him, it's, oh, I'm going to build this food empire. I'm finally going to be able to take care of my 3 daughters. I'm a single dad. I'm trying to make it big type of mindset. That's his scheme. to make money, is getting people on the internet to feel bad for him, to want to pour into his business, right? And sometimes that includes him spending a lot of money and taking the food cart out. At the end of taking the food cart out, especially early on in the a couple of years ago, people thought he was making good money. No, a lot of the times what he was doing is he was making decent money on the food cart, and people were donating because they saw him out there working. So it's
Yeah.
like for him, it's like he's kind of weaponized. I hate to say it that way, but like weaponized his struggle as a single father who's trying to like open a business. Like he preys on the fact that people want to see someone in his situation be successful.
Gotcha, gotcha. Thank you for that. Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, and Natasha said, "Look at Q trying to be." She said, "Look at Q trying to be sweet and optimistic." Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, like I said, this is not to dump on him, right? This is to, because I was curious myself about his behavior, right? Because the outbursts, the just screaming at the top of his lungs, that is not that does not help you get your point across, right? So I was curious myself, but yeah, so that actually makes a lot of sense because, especially, you were saying, so one has to be disciplined when it comes to business and make sure that you are doing everything that you need to do before you can even start another one, open another one. Um, yeah, so again, that's instability. It's instability. Um, yeah, it's instability. Yeah, this one, a handout. I don't think I've ever seen. Wait, I have seen a man say that women have it easy and he's jealous. I did see one guy say that. This was maybe like a month ago, a month and a half ago, but that was on the internet. He could have been trolling, but again, that's not going to, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do feel like there's a part of him that is self-destructive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Yeah, there is definitely, again, I'm trying to say a lot of what I'm saying without ragging on
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Like, the easiest thing to do is get on here and slam dunk on Jay Prince, right? It's not a
right.
difficult thing to do. He's not intellectual or anything like that. But one thing I will say is, like, you can see, if you were to spend time with him, you can see the dysfunction in how he regulates himself, how he responds to like his environment. It's not that he's like antisocial, it's more that like he's combating so many delusions at one time, as
Yeah.
he operates in the world. But
Yeah. 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 A part of me, I don't want to say I fear for him, but I will say a part of me, and this just kind of like, I don't want to say a psychic impression, but he's I kind of feel like he's self-destructive to the point where when it pertains to how he's feeling, he can get really, really low, really, really deep down in depressive, energetic states. I'm not saying that he would try to unalive himself, but I will say that there's, on an energetic level, there's part of him that asks, why is he here? Why is his life so hard in this way? Um, which is a little concerning for me, being that he has children
yeah,
who depend on him. So, I
he said it on Nyla's channel too, like, and that was a lot of,
oh, really? What did he say?
he was like, oh, I don't give a F if I'm gone tomorrow or whatever, which is something he says that frequently. It's something he would
Okay. See,
say.
I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, it was like, when he gets mad, especially online, which to me, like, this is where I have to try and decipher it. Has he kind of slipped into a parasocial reality where, like, he's actually being vulnerable with the internet, and, like, I don't know. There's some weird dynamic that he has with the internet too, where he will go on and start, like, spilling stuff. Like, we think me and you would probably hear what he said about self, like, not wanting to be here, and think like, oh, that's really bizarre. But if you've been around other spaces that he's been around, he's said, and he's like divulged more sensitive things. So he has a weird parasocial relationship with people online, the internet.
Yeah. 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 Like now that we are, I mean, we've been having this conversation for a while, but I do feel like he and I'm just picking up like impressions off of him now. So this is all information that's just literally just popping into my mind. I really feel like he really needs to talk to someone. He needs to work through that, but I kind of feel like he has energy that will, like, for example, have him to get in the car and for example, and get in the car and just live stream that he's doing whatever, and it ends up being a self unaliving, like, on a live stream. Like, I really feel that energy from him. It's not so much as
I hope he'd never
dangerous.
do that, but he would definitely do something like that for attention.
Yeah, yeah, because I feel like for him, he like there's this weird thing, like, I feel like he wants to be immortal, but how that comes about, he doesn't really care as long as it's something that's immortalized. And now, like I said, now I'm just starting to receive all types of, like, woo-woo psychic impressions, which is actually kind of scary. Like people who do things and they don't care how it happens or how it hurts people, as long their name is going to be immortalized in the news story or the news cycle for whatever. And I'm not saying that he will do it, but I kind of feel like he has some energies he needs to deal with. They are there, they are deep.
Yeah.
He needs healing. He does.
If I was like a real Christian religious person, sorry if I interrupted you. I can't tell
No,
if
no,
I.
you're fine.
If I were like religious, I would tell him to consider an exorcism, right? And I only say that because he has so much, like, negative thoughts and perspectives
Hmm.
that I don't know where else they would come from other than, like, the
Right.
religious perspective of a demon, like a devil.
Yeah.
So he has some beliefs that, like, would shock you. So
I believe you, and that's why I said, like, I'm starting to pick up on there is there's something more, there's something deeper that's there with him that he needs to deal with. But because he lives in his own uh own unstable, not necessarily grounded in the same reality that we are in, that it's normal for him. It's fine for him because he's not saying to himself, oh my goodness, am I going crazy? Do I need to talk to someone? Is this real? Like, he's not doing that. He lives in his own reality, in his own fantasy. And yeah, let me see something. Let me see something. Yeah. Yeah, he lives in his own um his own fantasy slash reality. And I wish we had a time of birth for him because then I would be able to really, really, really um get down into it. But this is concerning enough. Um,
Yeah.
I really feel like he has, yeah, yeah. That's wow. That's very, 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 very interesting. Yeah, and then I'm looking at this right here. Like we have Neptune here. We follow the blue line, sextiling with this. So yeah, the ideas that he has, the way he wants to transfer, he be going deep.
Yeah.
He be going deep into stuff, and this going into this depths in Scorpio with this delusional energy right here. Yeah, he be going deep. He going deep. Just because it's a blue line doesn't mean that it's good, right? It just means that there's an ease in the way that energy flows. But this is Pluto and Scorpio can be rough. And then he has this his Neptune in Capricorn, this delusion. Yeah, that can be rough. That absolutely can be rough. And it's just like everything that's here is opposing what's going on down here. So there's a tug of war within him. There's this seesaw, this battle, this back and forth. Um, as it pertains to his life, his ideas, his dreams, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there. So, yeah, that just made me tired. What do you think about that?
Yeah. That's a point. There was something that was distracting me in the chat that somebody said here. Um, does he appear to be going through some type of psychosis? I would say like yes at times. And like the part that's difficult about dealing with him is that like he'll be okay, like he'll be in a good mood, and then he'll snap into like something else.
Hey
And
Mel, I see you there. I'm so sorry. I see Mel here. You know, people be changing their names. And I gotta figure out who it is. Hey Mel. Okay, Jay Prince is here. He's in the chat.
oh,
Y'all can let him, say whatever he wants in the chat as long as he's not being disrespectful. If he starts getting disrespectful in the chat, then zap him. If he got starts
oh,
getting disrespectful towards Flora, then zap him. But he can be there. Maybe he needs to hear this. I don't know. Um, yeah. So yeah, I really think there are some things going on. His energetically there's a tug and flow. There's an ebb and flow. There is a back and forth energetically with him that he has yet to get a grasp on. And yeah, the the delusions of grandeur. They're there, honey. They are grandiose. They
yeah.
are grandiose. And I'm just speaking astrologically or whatnot. Yeah. So I really do hope that he's able to cultivate a community that potentially can help him because like I said, birds of a feather, they flock together. And
But then people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because like I'm seeing some people who go in his channel and like encourage him to act a certain way too.
Mhm.
They like there's an issue with him in terms of building community because he's attached to these like toxic environments online.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that are behind screen names, and,
Yeah.
and something with him is like he really sees those people as real people.
Gotcha.
You know what
Gotcha.
I'm saying? Like Big Jaw's the one who's in the chat. He's the one who's made like you almost think like some of the stuff that he says to Jay is like trolling, but with somebody like Jay who's kind of like not slow, but like he won't be able to know that that person might not necessarily have good intentions for him. You know
Got
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Where, like he's easily influenced by people online and things like that. That was the issue we had too. It was like people would go online and start saying stuff, and then he would try to bring that into arguments and stuff like that. So
Yeah. 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 Like I said, no, y'all are fine. Y'all are fine. Let me just talk to the Mazda real quick. Yeah, y'all are fine or whatever. But like I said, as long as they're not being disrespectful, they, say whatever. Like I said, maybe this will help. Maybe, I truly, I don't do these things just to rag on people. I do like trying to understand the human condition through this tool, which is astrology. And just right now, like I said, we've been seeing those who, if you have been on Taz's channel or Nyla's channel, or you understand, you see what has been happening online. Like I said, there was a video on Taz's channel the other day where, and I have seen the times in which Taz has imparted wisdom, talking to Jay Prince, man to man, father to father, things like that, trying to impart wisdom or ideas or, words of encouragement that can help, while also explaining that some of the things that has been said and done are not conducive to what you want. So,
Yeah,
there have been, parts of community trying to help, but it has to be on that person to accept it and
yeah,
then
they have to
implement
accept
the
the right ones too. Oh, I'm sorry. He has to accept the right ones too, because like when you come from the sector that I think he came from, like the red pill manosphere type environments, you have people like Taz who try to advise you and encourage you to do better. And then you have males who come into it and they just want to gas your head up, or they want to tell you that like you're letting a woman control you or things like that. And so like when you have somebody who's unable to know the difference between a parasocial relationship
yeah.
versus a real in life, like you know that person, you've built rapport, you guys know each other, you know each other's intentions. Like when you have someone who can't tell the difference between that, that's the issue. You know, a lot of the slander and things that he said about me, a lot of it, again, I believe was influenced by people and the things that they were saying too. You know, and so for somebody grown like that to be influenced by strangers online versus the person that you actually, albeit were dumb enough to marry, you know, if you're more willing to listen to those people versus someone that you're like in real life married to, then that's like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's listen, I mean, I truly do wish him the best because, someone in my position with the type of work that I do this type of work for the community. Like I try to figure out ways like how can I use this to potentially help people. So maybe sometimes it's explaining something. Maybe sometimes it's, helping out behind the scenes. Maybe, I do these different things because I truly do I don't like to see people in situations that don't have to be. And some of this doesn't have to be. But also at the same time, some things are truly the lessons. Like I'm also not here to take away the lessons that some people are supposed to learn and work through. Um, so it's just like sometimes like what do I do? Right? Do I help? Do I leave the people to figure it out on their own? But then sometimes it's also just like someone is 40 and okay, so what type of help do they really need, or are they just fine with it, right? So
they're fine. Yeah, a lot of times somebody his age who refuses the help of people who are giving him rational advice and takes the thoughts and opinions of people who have irrational advice, you know, that's willful. You know, he's
yeah.
very willful in his ignorance, you know. And look at him threatening me with a voodoo doll. That's
Well,
crazy.
okay, sir.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
People use words and they don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, um, okay, definitely not over here, sir. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, I truly do wish him the best, and I truly do um want nothing but goodness for his daughters as well. Um, I truly do wish him the best. But yeah, I was just curious because the crash outs, not saying it's a social experiment, but when you see things online, you're just like, what is going on? What's happening? Um,
It
but
definitely feels like it was a social experiment. Trust me.
yeah, just like, oh my goodness, like what is happening? And it was so funny because my husband was asking me, like, what are you watching the other day? And I was just like, I was sitting in bed, like, oh my God, like what is I couldn't believe some of the things that were being said. And I'm just like, is this being said for shock value, or is it being said because this is what this person believes? Or is it just to be contrary for the moment? Right. Um, no, he's not coming on my panel. Um, we're not about to. I don't do that. There are other people. Um, as long as everybody respectful in the chat, we good. But yeah, so like I said, I was just curious myself, and I think I have a better energetic understanding. Of course, I don't know everything, but I do have a better energetic understanding of it. And again, I do really wish um I do really wish JP the best, and I do wish you the best, Flora. I know your birthday is tomorrow. I hope you're gonna have a great time tomorrow.
Yes,
Does
yes, yes, yes.
anybody in the chat have something that they want to add? Um, Anybody in the chat have something that they want to add? I know some of the ladies were here saying anything. You know, I
And
know.
Grand Activists, sorry, you know,
Uh-huh.
I like their comment because they said agreed. Some lessons are supposed to be learned and will continue regardless until it's
Absolutely.
learned, regardless of who
Absolutely.
is involved.
Yeah, that's our good buddy old pal. That's Mel. That's Mel. He changed his name. So that's Mel there. And Mel absolutely has a good point. Like, like I said, sometimes me as the person that I am, I really want to help people out of things, but I also know that some things are spiritual lessons that people, will have to learn until they choose to do something better.
Yeah,
And
just like I have my own things that I came into the situation with him in. He has his own stuff
yeah,
too.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think the fact that he wants to continuously play the blame game. You have to think about, like, I dealt with, and I don't know how much of it you saw, but this man really tried to slander me. He really tried to disrespect my family's name. After my family did nothing but be nice. A
I
lot.
I definitely understand. And again, me being who I am, I wanted to help you, but I wasn't going to be like all in your business to be like, girl, Flo, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you need to, because there are certain things that people have to work out themselves. Of course, my door is always open for you if you need to reach out to me or anything like that. But my door is always open to you. But like I said, I something that I have to learn myself is I also have to learn to, don't say nothing until people reach out to you. Um, because I do like to help. But I've learned to only help if people reach out to me. I don't just dive into people's stuff anymore. So but yeah, I know it was a lot. We've been watching so many things unfold and play out for years. Um
Yeah.
for
And like
years.
for the people who know like his history stuff, I even myself, I've as long even though I've been on Taz and Nyla's channel for a while now, a lot of his antics on their channel I didn't catch. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that even I'm coming up to speed with, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at them in hindsight and I'm like, whoa, I probably should have heeded the warning that I would have known, that I would have gotten from hearing some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But because
Yeah.
I wasn't made privy, I learned a lot of things after the fact.
Can I ask how old are you, Flora? How
I'm
old are
gonna
you?
be 30. I'm gonna be
Oh,
30 tomorrow.
okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
My astrology people, you know what that means. Um,
What is that?
astrology means. Okay, so yeah, girl, you're right here. So the Saturn return.
You want to pull up my chart, or are you
Do
busy?
you do you have your birth time and your birth?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you do? Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, yeah, I can fire up a chart for you. Absolutely. You can type your well, I mean, you can just tell me your details or because it's gonna be up on the screen anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
that's August 13, 95,
okay,
3:44 a.m.
okay, Flora. You said August 13th, 1995. What time?
3:44 a.m.
3:44 a.m. Place of birth, what city?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, snap. Washington. I'm gonna have to go. Washington. Washington. District of Columbia. Let me see. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I need to. Okay. District of Columbia. Plural calculate. Chart 1. Okay. Okay. Say. It should be. It's gonna be coming up on the screen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is a okay? What is a Saturn trend? I saw someone in the chart say I see it. So between the ages of like, so this is your natal chart. I'm looking at this for the first time myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what did I mean? That's why I asked you how old you were because between the ages of like 26 and like maybe like 32, you have a Saturn return, and that means that Saturn returns to the place it was at when you were born. So if I click this and see now, so the outer circle here, the outer
Oh
circle.
wow.
So let me show you. So the come on, StreamYard be weird sometimes. Okay. So this is your natal Saturn here in Pisces, retrograde. Currently, right now, Saturn just entered into Aries. So the past 2.5 years, you were having your Saturn return. Okay, so Saturn just moved into Aries. You can see 1 degree of Aries. So you had a Saturn return. Saturn returns are a time when people are learning lessons. They are heavy, heavy lessons.
Hmm.
Things that you need to know, things that you need to experience. We usually have 2 Saturn returns in our life. The second Saturn returns usually happen for a person every 30 years. 30 years or so, give or take, 25 to 32 years. So people like Diddy and stuff like that, they're going through their second Saturn return, like in your 50s or whatnot. So you're about to be 30. So hey girl, welcome to the grown and sassy. So yeah, you just had this Saturn, you just had your Saturn return. So if the past 2 to 2.5 years have been real interesting or maybe difficult, this is why, because traditionally in astrology, Saturn is a malefic. Saturn is traditionally thought of as a bad no planet. Um, so you had a Saturn return. Oh, you had your Saturn return. So Saturn is exiting now. I want to say that um I want to say that part of this is your what was your Saturn return. But yeah, so you have your midheaven is in Aries right here. Okay. You have this right here. So Jupiter. Oh, things are going good for you. Things are definitely going better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter and Venus are here in your first house. So your rising sign. So you are a Cancer rising. Okay, Cancer rising sign. Okay, Cancer rising sign. Yes, yes, yes. So things are going. We have both of the benefics, both of the quote unquote good ones are currently transiting through your first house. Your first house is you as a person. So this is going good for you here. Yeah, your solar return, which is your birthday every year. Okay, you are here on this. Yeah, so this back and forth between things that are tangible. You, Flora, what you probably want to start thinking about Because you got things transiting. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. I would be here looking at this all day. But yeah, you literally just had a Saturn return. You literally had a Saturn return. And those lessons with your Saturn return were kind of public for you. Were kind of out in the open for you.
Hmm.
Because this is your ninth house. So this is your this line here. This line is sun over the horizon, sun underneath the horizon here. So, but yeah, so you a lot of things happening for you with your Saturn return were very, very public. And I think that what we have seen on YouTube between you and JP, I think that was part of that. I think that was part of that for you. But yeah, you have really good ideas. Um oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You are definitely one for fairness, balance. This is what you work towards. This is what you fight for. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I work in a prison. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You talking about Libra? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, you can definitely see here. Yeah. You definitely see. Yeah, you're here for the details, you're here for knowledge, you're here intellectually. You have Mercury here in Virgo. Okay, that's good. Well, I'm not saying that's good or bad or whatever, but yeah, Mercury is here in Virgo, so intelligence, details. Virgo is also a sign of what do I do for society? What do I do for others? So a lot of things that you talk about on YouTube, societal things here. Yeah, girl. Mhm. 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 Yeah, yeah, you definitely. Yeah, you definitely. I'm not going to say you're not a SJW, but um a lot of your you definitely have some helper energy. Let me remove this real quick. Yeah, yeah. You try to use a lot of your talents, like you use all the tools that are given to you. Okay, looking at your chart, yeah, you use a lot of the tools that are given to you. The thing about you is that do not, I would advise you to not spread so thin. You have a lot of ideas. Try not to spread so thin doing all of the things. That will
Okay.
that will be my advice to you, to not spread yourself so thin, because you do have good ideas and ideas that are um based on knowledge, based on research, based on those things, but try not to spread yourself so thin. I would say just stick with one thing at a time. Um, for you, yeah, I would definitely say that. I think also that um, you can be emotional at times, but you choose to be emotional in private. Looking at this, you choose to be emotional in private, which is okay, which is fine. Everyone doesn't need to put their heart out on the sleeve for the world to see. um yeah, i think part of you I think part of you wants to um I think part of you wants to I don't want to say you want to get into woo woo stuff, but there's part of you that's so analytical and need the data, need the facts, need the figures, that you're not really ready to step out into that yet, but you're curious.
Curious.
Um,
Say that
mhm.
again. About what?
I think there's part of you that wants to read up, learn more about the woo woo, about the intangible things, but
Mm.
things are so intangible, you're just like, you need to be based in reality. So, uh, how you're going to work on being a little bit more fluid to things that are intangible, that's going to be up to you to do, but you are very, very based, at least mentally, you are based in reality, and you are based in reality. You're based in facts, figures, data, and information. Like the information says, the actual research information says, and you use that. That is your strong point. So the woo woo isn't necessarily your strong point, but I think maybe a little bit curious. Listen, there's nothing wrong with good reality based facts and figures here on earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so you cannot do all of the things at once. Do not try to do all of the things at once. Do not try and rah rah for everything at once. You can't do it. You will burn yourself out. Especially going hard for women. I know it's a lot of shit happening out here, as it pertains to women and women's rights and it's degenerates out here of all shapes, colors, and sizes. Do not burn yourself out. Do not burn yourself out. Do not burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and justice is important to you. So, yeah, justice is important to you, and fighting for other people is important to you. So, but do not burn yourself out. Do not. Do not, girl. Do not. So, that's just, a quick little. Oh, let me see something real quick. That's just a quick little. Um, let me see. Search. So, the eclipse next month. Okay, the eclipse next month is going to be happening. The lunar eclipse is going to be happening in your house up here where Saturn and the moon are. The eclipse is going to be happening. This is your ninth house. It's going to be happening in there for you. So it's possible things around education, your career, um, things like that may happen for you up here. And then the solar eclipse is happening in Virgos. So it's going to be happening on your ninth house, third house axis here. So I don't know what's going on with your family or if you have siblings or anything like that, but we'll come back and ask you after these eclipses what may or may not. And it doesn't mean that things will happen to you. Eclipses sometimes do things for people and they sometimes don't do things for people. It just really depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, at 29 degrees. Do you have anything at 29 degrees? No, you have this here. But it is going to be happening across this here for you. So your career, education, and potential family foundations and siblings is where this is happening. Something may happen, something may not happen, but that's just for you. But yeah, so I can already see that. Yeah, some of this wasn't going. I'm not gonna say it wasn't gonna work, but
Wait, say that again about not gonna work. Where'd that come from?
because mentally, 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 you are grounded. You're earthy. You're grounded in reality. You're grounded in facts, figures. You're grounded in data. And your former spouse, it, he was grounded, but his was a little bit different because it was right up there at his midheaven. So his mind was more on making money, focusing on money, like we talked about the instead of you doing like you do long research here
Mm-hmm.
and you support yourself with long research with things that have been researched and have been proven to work, proven to be, stable like that. So I can see I can see it's funny. You have some of the same placements, but these personal placements are definitely what makes the difference. Like your generational placements are the same. Pluto and Scorpio, Jupiter and Sagittarius. You have the same, you know, both of them in the same sign, Uranus and Neptune, but your these personal placements being different means so much. And then your sun
Why
sign.
does it have? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said, and then your sun sign. So your personal placements, they really mean so much. Your Venus, your sun, these personal planets, because there are tons and tons of people, generations will have some of the same generational planets.
Yeah.
But but your personal placements are different than his. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it doesn't mean that you're a failure, it doesn't mean anything like that, but even just mentally you two are different.
Yeah.
Mentally you two are different, and that's okay. So that's okay. So yeah, y'all. Flora gave us a little bit of her information for us to kind of look at real quick. I like that you have your information, girl. But yeah, like I said, this was not to dog on, rag on Jay Prince at all. It was just I was just curious about what it is, who he is energetically as a person. Um, Same way I'm curious about, you know, like for example, Jeffrey Dahmer. Like I pulled up Jeffrey Dahmer's chart, and I'm curious. I'm curious. Um, because like I said, I'm interested in the human condition. I mean, I have a degree in sociology, so there's that. So I'm curious about things, right? I'm curious about things. So
Yeah. Someone was mentioning, can you run a synastry? What does that mean?
synastry, yeah.
Oh,
So synastry means that you place the two charts together and look at compatibility
oh,
between people. Yeah. So that's Mel. Mel asking, can I run the synastry? Okay, Mel. Okay, Mel. Okay, sir.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, okay, sir. So let me see. Open. Let me open.
We're so messy. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, listen. I mean, and this is why I say like astrology is part woo woo, but it's also part of studying history and the correlations between things, right? So as much as people be like, "Oh, astrology is fake," no, we have data banks that we can compare things across, history, across events, and we correlate what was happening with the planets with these events in history, right? So, and people do it all the time. So let me go back to Jay's. Let me go back to Jay's. Okay, select this chart too. Okay.
Yeah, I am looking for answers though, because Sleepy
No,
Beast.
and that's why I know, girl. I know. I know. Let me add this back in. So share screen, window. Okay. So let me make sure this is in. Add to the stage. Okay. So Flora, you are the. Let me bring the chart back up. Let me move it back over. Flora, you are this inside ring.
Okay.
J JP, from what we know, like I said, we don't have his time, is the outside ring. Okay. So we look to see what types of things match, what do not match. So let me see. Yeah, we're looking at things. See your chart is we have your exact time, so we know that all of your placements are there. So like I said, you two have some generational things together. So Pluto and Scorpio, but just at different degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, just at different degrees. Your Pluto is in Scorpio there. Yeah, this is so funny. This is so funny. And y'all, I'm just talking like I talk to myself often. So I'm not saying anything, is weird going on or whatever. I'm just looking to see where is your interesting.
Wow, those are very different places. What does that mean?
You're very, very different. So I'm gonna ask you a question, Flora.
Hmm.
What made you decide to marry JP? Like I said, this is not to. I'm not here to shame you or anything at all. I'm just asking so I can start looking at this chart and analyzing.
At that point, I was living with him, and he was
Okay.
putting a lot of pressure on me to have a child. And I really, really, really didn't want a child, right? Um, And I
Okay.
thought that like pressuring him to get into a marriage would kind of slow that conversation down, but it didn't. Not to say that like to some degree, like it was
Mhm.
a lot going on, is what I'm gonna say, right? I'm gonna say there was a lot
Okay.
going on. There was a lot of pressure on me to make decisions. I felt like there was a lot of pressure on me to make sacrifices, and I wasn't anything to this person and their family. So it was like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make these type of sacrifices, and especially have a child without a type of commitment that I thought would slow the conversation down, which it actually didn't. It just sped it up. Like, okay, let's go do it then. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Um, it
Okay.
was a
So
lot, and it was fast.
okay. So I want to ask just so I can have clarity and whatnot. So what were you? Do you all did you all live in the same city
No, we,
first
we met up
or
to do no, we met up to do content. We were at an Airbnb. Everything was cool there. Like I thought, personally, I thought he was cool. He seemed really passionate about food. Um, he was kind of showing me around. There was some situations where like he was acting overly nervous and intense, but like when we weren't on camera, mind you, our meeting was all on camera. Excuse me, but when we weren't on camera, he was like he got really like sensitive and open, and just said he wanted to be with me, and like was kind of showing up in ways that like now I'm seeing I kind of probably mirrored, like he probably kind of just mirrored me.
mm,
um but like he came across like a very sweet and genuine person, which if we're looking at JP today, you'd be like, how did you see a sweet and genuine person?
right?
um, but I do think that he did turn on like quote unquote the charm and pretend to just be more down to earth than he actually was in general. So it was kind of just we met that one time, and then we were doing content together all the time and talking, and then him asking me to go live there and help him run his business and raise his kids. It was just like it kind of just happened quickly, I think. Now that I think about it, there wasn't a lot of thought put into it,
Mm,
or if it would be sustainable. It was kind of just something that just happened. And I
okay.
don't know if it was because we were from different places that it happened as quick as it did, but
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm looking at this. I know Mel gets into astrology too. So um you all definitely had mutual reception. What does that mean? When a planet is in a sign. Okay, let me bring this up here. A planet is in a sign that has energy, like it's like swapping energies. So there's this Venus and Aries here, and you go right across here on this axis, and then Mars is in Libra. Venus is a planet, great time in Libra. So this is called being domicile, like being at home. Mars in Aries, that's called being domicile. So we have some mutual reception here, energy in between the absolute, and it's just so funny, in between this masculine and feminine energy. This is like archetypal masculine feminine energy. Like when you hear like men are from Mars, right? Men are from Mars, and then women are from Venus, right? So you have some mutual reception. Um, you
wait,
have
the
some.
Mars is in me though?
Okay, so this is you. This inner ring right here is you. Okay. Your Mars is in Libra. You have passions as it pertains to fairness, equity, including women's rights, right? Mars is the natural ruler or gets down in Aries up here. Venus is at home in Libra here. So we have this mutual reception going on here. So the energies are flowing. They can pick up and play off of each other. So I think this is where the passion was coming from. But then you as a person, this is your Mercury, this is your mental state. You like facts, you like figures, you like data, you like information, things that has been verified. It is an earth sign. Virgo is an earth sign. But his is he has he can put on the Venusian energy. He can do that because his Mercury is here in Taurus. Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus. So he can put on the charm. He can put on the charm when he wants to. He can put on the charm.
When he wants to is the key word, because that
Right.
was like
When he
that was
wants
his thing. He could be
right.
really sweet and kind,
He can
and
he
then
can
he
put
can
on the
retract
charm.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. He can definitely put on the charm. He can definitely put on the charm. Yeah, I think this is where you two were I don't want to say the sparks were flying, but I think this is where there was reception. You were receptive to his being able to put on the charm here. You absolutely were you were and listen,
There's
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean people are people. Um, Listen, you're going through your Saturn return, so there are a lot of things that you are learning, and then you take those lessons with you. Don't say that, Mel. Talking about stubbornness explained. It's okay. Listen, people, you're not the first person and first woman to be in a relationship that didn't work out, and you won't be the last, right? The thing is that you learn from your experiences and grow and apply those things and move forward, like, right? So like, what did you learn? How can you
I feel
move
like, yeah, I
forward?
feel like I fell for a charm,
Yeah,
versus
absolutely.
honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mel, I'm gonna send you to the corner. Mel, I'm gonna send Mel to the corner. Um, yeah. And listen, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, you aren't the first woman, you won't be the last. It's just, we go through all these things to make sure that we learn, we apply the lessons, and we move forward, right? There's and that's okay. That's okay. Um, yeah, right. We learned them so we don't. But absolutely, charm will get you caught up. Absolutely, charm will get you caught up. You hear? Charm will get you caught up. Yeah, and your moon is you have a mutable moon, which means your moon is in a mutable sign. Mutable signs are signs that are open, they are malleable. These are signs that they're not rigid, they're not fixed. Like, so like water. Water is not rigid, water is not fixed. Your moon, your moon is in Pisces. It's an emotional moon. But that Pisces depth, you're gonna kind of keep certain things to yourself, and that's okay. You're gonna kind of keep certain things to yourself, and that's okay. Yeah, your midheaven, okay, is in Aries. You have actually a really good. I don't want to say good. Your midheaven is at 0 degrees of Aries. Aries is a world point. 0 degrees of Aries is a world point. So you actually have midheaven energy that you can change and do a lot with, because this is the energy that causes change. So I want you to think about when it's time for seasons to change, right? The power and forces that have to be harnessed for seasons to change. This is world point energy. So I think whatever it is that you choose to do, because you're going to be 30. I'm 12 years older than you. You still have a lot of life ahead of you, just like I do, but you can choose to, how do you want to, whatever you do, whenever you harness your powers and stuff, and you're really just getting started, You have some good world point energy here. I would say that your world point energy here in Aries, just make sure that you are in control of what you're doing, because it can it's cardinal energy, energy that kicks off stuff, initiation energy. Make sure that you are fully in control with things, whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure that you are in control so that you can guide your life. But yeah, oh yeah, it absolutely was. He put on the charm. He put on the charm.
Yep.
He put on the charm. And
You would think a sign that's so rigid in terms of like thinking and needing facts.
yeah, that's your mind though, baby. That's your mind. That's your mind. Okay. But your Venus is here in Leo. Listen.
Oh Lord.
It be feeling things too, okay, and that's okay.
Big
That's okay.
feeling.
You know, you like the little spicy too. There's nothing wrong with that. I told you I'll be out here biting people. Nothing wrong with a little spice. Listen, once I figured out what was going on with me, I was like, oh, okay, that's why you like that. Okay. Um, astrology, it helps us understand so much about ourselves and the world. But yeah, it's okay. Don't laugh at me, seeing one. Seeing one always laughing at me. She's always laughing at me when I say something. But yeah, so there's nothing there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Y'all got some sextile energy. So this was a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of, but this was some very, there was attraction energy there. On some level, there was attraction energy there. It wasn't necessarily mental.
Yeah,
It was
definitely. So,
it was charm, it was attraction. It probably because you were in close proximity. Um, because I'm looking at your Mars, I mean his Mars, so JP's Mars is at 16 degrees of Gemini, is sextiling your Venus almost at the same degree. Your Venus is 17 degrees, his Mars is 16 degrees. So we got a fire sign and air sign. So yeah, so that was some ease and energetics along the male female uh along the male female dynamics. And it's okay. It happens. It happens. It happens. Yeah, it happens. Now, yeah, who you are as people is definitely different. This isn't a complete square, but it's almost a square. So who you all are as people are definitely fundamentally different. Definitely fundamentally different. So what is a square? A square is 90 degrees. Those are some of the harsher aspects. So he has his sun 29 degrees of Taurus here. You are 20 degrees of Leo here. This is a square. One,
what
two,
does that
three.
mean?
The square means it's a harsh aspect that you got to figure it out. It can cause problems. You got to figure it out. So fundamentally, vitality wise, who you are as the person, like a lot of times they'll say like the sun is you, your ego, who you are as a person. You two were completely different people. Completely different people. So this is a square. So like I said, just think about it in terms of math. So 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. It's not a complete square because he's at 29 degrees and you're at 20 degrees, your sun, but it's you might as well call it a square. Might as well call it a square. This is gonna keep being this is gonna be a square. So, so 30 degrees. Each one of these slices is 30 degrees. So
Hmm.
30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. This is a square. So who you are fundamentally as a person, where you all were completely different. Not to say that Taurus and Leo won't work, because a lot. There are a bunch of people whose opposites and stuff like that attract. But I think that fundamentally, who you are as people was different. And then getting to the yeah.
What is that?
Uh, remember we talked about his being based in reality and not. Um, and like I said, it's not to laugh. It's not to make fun. It's not. But I just think that um who you are as a person, and I just think that you may have had a little bit more of a better foundation than he did coming up, and
That's,
sometimes that makes the difference.
that's subjective, though.
It is. It is. It is.
What's better? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
it is. And see, y'all see Flora talking about this is subjective. Okay, what does
I'm
better
sorry.
actually mean?
I'm just saying, like,
Flora's Mercury and Virgo are here saying this is subjective and we need to really, really define these terms. I mean, are we truly, truly defining these terms correctly? I'm not making fun of you, but I'm just saying, like this is that's why I say this is how your mind works with seeing one stop laughing. But this is how this that's how it's literally how your mind works. And that is okay. So you're just like, if something doesn't make sense, you gonna call bullshit and you're not going along with it. Like and that's okay, but that's okay. It's okay to do so. Completely fine. No, you weren't, girl. You was laughing. It's okay seeing one. Go ahead and laugh, girl. She always laughing at me. Every time I say something, she always laughing. I love you, girl. But girl, stop laughing. But that's okay. That is completely okay. So I think the charm was turned on, and that's okay. People get, you know,
I
charm.
really want to know why men turn on charm, like, especially with, because, like, what is the point in it if it's not who you are?
Is
If
to
it's
get
not
what you
like,
want. I can tell you that right now, is to get what you want. Listen, I'm not here to talk about charm. I'm not gonna talk down on charm because I have used charm many a times.
but did you have nefarious intentions? Probably not.
Nefarious? No. But to help myself out, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's not
But
necessarily
but
wrong.
but it was like for example, okay. One of Q's story times. Listen, okay. When I was a young, supple, little round, okay, young and cute in college, and I had to go stand in line and get my college ID, and I didn't have everything that I needed. The man at the window said, Q, go get this and come back and get in line. But you don't have to stand all the way in a long line in the back. You can come bypass all these people and just come get in line, and I'm gonna fix it for you. Okay, so he was charming, and so was I. I smiled. I said, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. And Q went and got her shit and got right back in line. I ain't have to stand in that damn line. Same thing when I was buying appliances for my house. Okay, my husband was at work. I went to go get appliances from the appliance store. Okay, I scoped the things out. Q went in there on a mission. I had on my cute heels. I had on my green V-neck shirt. Okay, and I got a lot of chest biscuits. I had on my cute V-neck shirt. My pink lip gloss was popping. I went in there and I charmed and I leaned over on that counter and I talked to that man. And yes, he looked down my shirt and I did not care. And I went home with a refrigerator, a stove, a microwave, and a dishwasher for $3,000, including installation. I paid that man, and I took my ass home. I sure did charm. I sure did.
Yep.
I sure did. And period. Okay, I sure did. So have I used charm? You smile and stuff. Hell, same thing with my husband. He go out. Okay, he go out and he'd be like, yeah, look, the chick, she was talking to me. He's like, yeah, so I talked to her back. They be upgrading him on his flights. He be getting all the snacks. Was he using it to try and destroy their lives or anything like that? No. But
Yep.
I will absolutely charm. I when I leave out the house, I put on what I make sure I'm cute when I leave out the house because being cute and a quick smile, even though some of it is performative, a cute smile, if it's gonna benefit me without causing harm to other people, you damn right I'm gonna do it. You damn right I'm going to. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness, can you I sure will, but am I doing it to like destroy someone's life or something? No. No,
Exactly.
I'm just gonna play the game. I'm gonna play the game. But I'm not out here trying to, what I'm saying, just like manipulate people or steal from people. Like I'm not doing that. But I will
For
smile
men,
good
for
service.
men, I feel like they're trying to make you feel safe when they use charm. You
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's why, okay, I know that. Okay, and some things I'm not doing myself. I tell my husband and he do it. Because we do know that people do it to manipulate and try to get over on people.
hmm
Try to get over on people. I'm not doing that. But it is what it is. Some will say and do some of whatever to explicitly uh manipulate, have sex, some do it. Some do it. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Um I don't agree with that, to try and, especially along the terms of, yeah, have my baby. Like, okay, like,
Not
no, like,
that I'm anti baby, but like, that's the last
right,
thing.
but applying pressure on like that, like for a relationship, like, yeah, that's not cool.
Right.
That's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, yeah. Mel is right. I keep forgetting that Mel is with the spiritual shits. Grand archivist here in the chat, that's Mel. He with the spiritual shits. But listen, like, he knows, and this is why, people who have children, who love their children, protect their children, mothers and fathers, you have to do your best to like show people examples of stuff. Like, listen, like, and I'm not saying that you didn't know or whatever, because that's pressure. That's wrong. It should be your decision, not a decision that you made under duress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why, when we're looking at all these different um trials and shit like that, it's just like people were making these decisions under duress, or making decisions because they had to say yes, or they didn't feel safe, or like, you see the stories all the time, and it's just like there's a difference between charm, and there's a difference between seducing people to try and take advantage of them. That's completely different.
Yeah.
And you got to be hit to the game. You got to be hit to the game. So, um and I learned to be hit. I'm just speaking for Q. Q learned to be hit to the game a long time ago. So I could always see the game, right? The manipulation. I could always see it. Um, and I call bullshit on a lot. So, you know, but what does it say? Sleepy B says, in nature, the males have all the colors. They have to put on the charm, shows to find a mate. Absolutely. Like, if you look at the peacock, the ones with the pretty feathers are the men,
Yeah.
the peacock birds. They got through the song and dance and charm, So I'm not going to reduce us to animals, but when you understand that a lot of um life that's being lived out here is a game, and not everybody, but there are a lot of people who would try to get over on you. You get hip to the game real quick. Like, a lot of people don't like to talk about that book, The 48 Laws of Power. Women don't. I see conversations online where women are saying, like, I don't like that book. But then I see some women who are just like, I read the book so that I can understand when people try to run the game on me.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you gotta be able to realize when the game being ran. You know, so I learned a long time ago. All the you cute, you this, you that, and you this, that, and the other was a ploy to try to come at me sideways or sexually or whatever. And I'm not saying that you dumb or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm just sharing things from my past. I learned real quick that it's not about talk. It's not about what a man says. It's about what he does. When a man truly wants you, he is going to make it known. And when he truly wants you, loves you, and truly respects you, and wants a healthy relationship, as healthy as it can be, he is going to do the right thing so that you're comfortable, so that you,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not just a few words, it's long term. Like I can call my husband right now. He's in LA. I can call him right now and be like, babe, I'm hungry. He's gonna try to find a way to fix it. Can I order you something? What do you want? Do you want me to, whatever. I had a situation last month when I went to Anaheim, California, and my car, it was Mercury retrograde, y'all. But my car tire was being weird driving the 6 hours to Anaheim. And I called my husband and I was just like, babe, my car tire. He was in Utah. That man took the first flight out the next morning and flew back to California and then got in his car and drove down to where I was at to get my tire fixed at the hotel I was at. So I say that to say you will know when it's the right one. You will know when it's the right one. And it's not just
Yeah.
about, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I said, there was charm there. It's fine. You're learning your lessons. You are going to be a better person because you learned and you remember how you felt. You remember things that you went through. It's okay to verify before you trust. Nothing wrong with that either. Society demands us to do it every time. You can't go rent nobody apartment unless they verify you got some money to come rent this apartment. So it's okay to apply that as well, right? So listen, like I said, you aren't the first woman, you won't be the last, but you can move forward. You can move forward.
I definitely feel like I have
Good,
mentally. I just
good.
want to make sure, like, and the funny thing is, he comes in, and anytime he hears me talk about it, which is not frequently, he comes in like, "Oh, well, seems like she hasn't moved on." If I were dumb and want to keep redoing the same mistakes, I would have already jumped into the next situation. But
Yeah,
I really, really, really don't want
and
to.
that's fine. You don't have to. You
Yeah,
don't have to. You don't have to. You do what you need to do and what you want to do
yeah.
whenever you're ready.
It
And if
doesn't mean I'm single, but I'm not like ready to jump out here with the next man. You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
Flora does what's best for Flora, and that's just the end of it. Don't care who's mad at it.
Yeah.
Don't care who's mad at it. Flora do what's best for Flora, right? So like I said, I say that as an unofficial YouTube auntie. Like Flora does what's best for Flora. Like, listen, I be so protective of my people out here, and I know we talked about parasocial relationships, but I hate seeing bullshit. I really do. I really hate seeing bullshit. And I'm just like, y'all out here doing this bullshit, the same bullshit that we be talking about, and y'all doing this bullshit. And it's just like the purposely like hurting people and stuff like that. Like I don't like that.
Yeah. And all parasocial relationships aren't bad, but I
Yeah.
think that when there are bad ones, they're
Oh yeah.
really bad. They're really influential and a lot of
Yeah.
times they're negative. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, girl. But yeah, like I said, you'll be fine. You'll be fine because you quote unquote have a good head on your shoulders, and I see it. I see it right there. You have a good head on your shoulders, and I love it, and I love it. I love it. So lessons, lessons, lessons. Yeah, lessons, lessons, lessons. And like I said, I don't know you personally. I know you through YouTube, but just know that there are a bunch of people rooting for your happiness and well-being, and I'm one of them. I'm
thank
one
you.
of them. So Lilith up there, Lilith down there cutting up in the chat. Lilith cutting up, Lilith cutting up in the chat. Yeah, Lilith cutting up in the chat. But yeah, so yeah, now it's okay to question things. It's okay to question. It's okay to question things. So yeah, we've been over here chilling, analyzing, talking, discussing for. Let me see. I can
Two
barely.
and a half hours. I kept you
Right,
in.
right. Lilith says it's another day that ends in Y. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Another day that ends in Y. And we have we have these conversations. So I'm oh, did they leave? I'm glad they left because I don't know. Like, is he like? searching for his name on YouTube or something like that. Like
Ooh.
JP, like he was over here in the chat. It's like, are you searching for your name on YouTube?
He
How
be
did he even know that we were over here? Like he's not part of my, you know what I'm saying, like my community. Like why are you here? I
he
mean,
be
I understand you see your name. Like is he just searching his name? Is that what y'all do?
I did share it on my wall, but
Okay, okay, so that's what it was. He was watching what you were doing. Got it.
I don't
Okay.
know where else it would have came from. But hey, I'm not
He
trying
was
to say nothing.
he was just watching what you were doing. Right.
He
He was
was
hovering. He was hovering.
why did I say hoovering? Yeah, he was definitely hovering.
He probably was hoovering. But yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so now you know that I'm not gonna say he obsessed, but he definitely was watching. That's the only way he would know is if he frequents your internet area. That's the only way he would know that we were doing this over here. So right, and his flying monkeys, right, came with. I'm just like, who are these people? I mean, thanks
They
for the
follow him everywhere. Those
right,
scary people.
right, like oh, okay, sir, y'all, and shouldn't y'all be like out there like cleaning the barbecue grill or something? Like, what are you doing? Like, leave us alone over here. Right. I'm just wondering, like, where did these people come from? Like, where? It was fine. Thanks for the engagement and being in the chat, but I mean, so yeah, listen. Now Lilith said even the stars say Jay is fucked in the head. Listen, Lilith's been waiting on this one. Lilith, you got to go back and watch because there were some delusions of grandeur that we uncovered, and it's not funny. It's actually quite sad, but some delusions of grandeur, and like I said, I hope everyone does better and have good lives, whatever that means to y'all. So, do you have anything? I think I'm gonna get ready to end this because we've been over here for a little bit, which is fine. And I do again, Flora, I do thank you for coming over and speaking on this topic with everything that you went through on YouTube dealing with this. So I really really do appreciate you coming over and sharing your thoughts as it pertains to today's topic because I I felt bad for asking you but I wanted to, like I said, have commentary from someone who dealt directly with him. So I wasn't just like pulling shit out of my ass.
He's a troubled individual, and I think a lot of people, when they see and hear from him, they want to know, and it's something I wanted to know. So I appreciate the invite. Not gonna lie,
Yeah. Yeah. So
I might not know a lot about the spiritual stuff,
oh
but I
girl.
do have like curiosity.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Cause like I said, I'm looking at, I look at different things too or whatever. I can't wait to present um like I said, these different charts on people. They want me to look at Gavin Newsom. They want me to look at Gavin Newsom, they little friend, governor friend of California. I live in California and I'm just like, okay, I'm over it. They want me to look at Gavin Newsom. I already looked at his chart. That man is an opportunist. Okay. I'm just telling y'all, that man is an opportunist and he will do some of anything to be relevant. Okay. He don't have a huge ego, but he makes sure that he stays quote unquote wholesome enough, okay, because he has plans for um accelerating his career. Okay, I do believe he has plans for the presidency. So right now he's saying some of anything to to start farming that energy. um yeah, Stephen Miller is a deplorable. I looked at his chart too. They want me to go over all these people's charts. I'm just like, Stephen Miller is a deplorable.
Did you
And
do Umar's chart yet, or do we not know his birth?
I need his birthday. I think somebody sent it to me, but I gotta go back and look. Oh, I would love to do Umar's chart, even if I just have like the date and location of birth, because baby, I would love to look at it. Because listen, we've seen the degenerate dusty energy. We've seen it. We've seen the degenerate dusty energy, and yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. That
We
man is
know his
crashing out
birth.
right now.
We have his birthplace and birthday, but time no.
Okay, what it is? Let me pull up this chart because I would have to do a whole. I just want to look. I ain't gonna do the analysis on it yet because baby, I'll be
August,
taking my notes. Let me see. Umar Ifa Tunde scammer scammer Johnson. That's what I'm putting at the top of this. Okay, what's his birthday?
August 21st,
Oh
1974.
no, he one of my August 21st.
1974.
74. He will be a damn Virgo. Okay, we're just gonna put that at 12.
And he was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as Jermaine Shoemaker. Oh, Lord.
Listen, child thing on I put Umar Ifatunde scammer Johnson. That's what I put. I did because he been scamming for a long time.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna show y'all real quick. I'm just gonna show y'all real quick. As Lilith will say, the clusterfuck of stars. If this is his correct birthday, absolute clusterfuck. Let me go back to StreamYard because I was trying to be nosy and see what y'all was doing in the chat. Listen, listen. If this is the correct birth date and place, it's a clusterfuck. If it is, y'all see this?
oh my. Hmm.
Child. Of course, I would have to do analysis on it, but baby. Okay.
Is this similar
Oh,
to James? It looks like Jay Fritz's one in some places.
yeah, I'm gonna do an analysis on this. I'm gonna do an analysis on this. Yeah, y'all see the name that I put up there, Umar Ifatunde Scammer Johnson.
Hmm.
Um, if this is the correct birth date, even though we don't have the time would just give us houses, like house placements, numbers, so you can tell which house is what. But we don't necessarily. I mean, the houses would be good, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at this. This man, wow, he has okay. That makes sense. His midheaven in Leo, that absolutely makes sense. This
Hmm.
he definitely think he a king. He think he a king. He absolutely think he a king. My fellow astrology people know that the Regulus fixed star is in Leo. So he has it right there by his son too. Oh, he definitely think he a king. He think he a king. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He think he a king, and people think that he out here fighting for justice. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm gonna do an analysis on this. Let me remove this. I'm gonna do an analysis on this because yeah, he definitely think he a king. I sh-
Definitely schedule that so I cannot miss it.
he definitely a king. He definitely a king. Lilith said, I don't know how to read this, but I'm pretty sure it says your Goonie Goons have no power here somewhere in there. Lilith is acting up. Yeah, I'm gonna do an analysis on that because listen, it makes sense. Child, he really think he a king. He really does think that he is a king with some power. He really does. Let me see what his other placements are. Yeah, he ain't too wrapped in he does not have any financial stability either. He does not. I don't see these Capricorn placements there. I don't
Things
child.
are bad for him right now too. So
Listen. Oh, he getting that ass toe up as he should. As he should. As he should. Let me see. Where is his As he should. And I gotta catch up on some of that myself. I gotta catch up on some of that myself with Umar. It seems like people are waking up. I mean, that's good. That's good. He's another one that he be trying to, yeah, he be trying to get people with them facts and figures and shit. Mhm. Oh yeah, he's having a whole Chiron return right now. Okay, Chiron. So his wounds are being opened up. He's having a Chiron return right now. Mhm. Okay,
Hmm.
Chiron. Okay, Chiron. Mhm. Jupiter sitting right on top of his sitting right on top of his Saturn right now. I know I'm talking gibberish to you right now. I'm just looking like, yeah, interesting. Right, grifter, a whole scammer, grifter. Yeah, and the nodes are. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do an analysis on this, and then I will schedule it. It won't be live. I'll do an analysis on this because baby, his ass is getting toe up, and them eclipses. Them eclipses is gonna hit his ass. They gonna hit his ass. So okay, yeah, y'all. I'm just talking shit right now. But yeah, I'm gonna do an analysis on this and put this out because Mr. Ifan Tunde is finally getting his ass toe up. Toe up. Does he have any? He has Jupiter in Pisces. His Jupiter is in Pisces. Jupiter likes being there. That's probably where he's getting some of that spiritual from because Jupiter is going to cover like religion and stuff like that. That's probably where he getting some of that from. Umar getting F5 by life. He deserves it. Listen, people who do terrible shit to other people, they deserve whatever they get. They deserve it. It just is what it is. Like I'm not here to codify it and pacify it. You do terrible shit to people, you get what you get. Period. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. Let me get on out of here. I gotta go cake with my husband real quick. I'm gonna go cake. I'm gonna get out of here. I might come back for some late night, just chat and chill. Um, I might come back for that. So again, Flora, I thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful birthday tomorrow. Um, I
Yes,
hope you
thanks
have a
for
wonderful
having me.
birthday tomorrow. Yes, 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 yes.
All
And
right,
remember, don't spread yourself too thin now. Do not spread yourself too thin.
I
But yeah,
will try.
I'll probably come back later on tonight for some late night chat and chill and talk bullshit with y'all. So I love y'all. Thank you again, Flora, so much. And I will see y'all on the flip side.